let's talk about what's possibly the best lavalier on Amazon for only 18 bucks. And it's a Sony? What? What's happening, guys? How are you doing today? I'm doing great. I hope you are too. Man, do I have something awesome for you today. I mean, you already know what it is. It's a Sony ECMMC3 omnidirectional lavalier mic, or lapel mic. Now, I'm very excited about this microphone because it is so cheap. It's like 18 bucks off Amazon, and it has excellent quality. I got two of them. Here's my second one right here. This is the brand new one. Now, I am using my shotgun mic, I normally do, but at times where I'm further away from the mic, that's where these really come in handy. And so, this is what it is. This is gonna be a quick unboxing. It's just, you know, the packaging is really cheap. It's not that great. I mean, it is a cheap product, so I'm not complaining. But coming from Sony, you think it might be a little more, I don't know, you know, just like, look at that. Maybe it just got beat up in the warehouse, but it's like kind of open. It's this kind of clipped together packaging. But again, I'm not complaining. I've tested my second one out already and it worked out really well. So let's just pull it apart. We've gotten past the quality of the packaging. It's not that fantastic, but you know, the point is we want some good sounding audio. So I'm just gonna pop this open. We have some documents in here. It comes with a 1-year warranty. Now it is big. But that's the thing, it's omnidirectional, which means it records from any direction of the mic. That's what it's intended to do. I got these specifically because they were super cheap, and I was curious because I've looked at them in the past. If anyone else out there has looked for mics and stuff, you probably ran into this too. It's a very popular one. The quality of this plastic, it's very cheap. You can see the seam where it's like put together, and you know, you have left and right. It is handy how this pivots. Now, I can see this being extremely useful if you have an interview, maybe between two people, and you just set it like on the desk, or you put it somewhere in between. This would obviously pick up from both sides very well. 3-foot cable, and the cable doesn't feel like cheap quality. Sometimes they do, but you know, given that Sony, they did a pretty good job at giving you at least a halfway decent cable. This doesn't really feel like it's gonna junk out on you. It doesn't feel like it's gonna cut out. It feels okay, it feels all right. One good reason why I might use this more often is because the acoustics in here kind of suck. You know, we have like brick behind me and we have wood floors. I did put up some soundproofing wall panels, as you can see over here. It's a little hard to tell. See, those are all soundproof. Yeah, that's why, you know, these would actually help out because you could clip them on right on you and you're good. Keep in mind that this video mic, it's good. It's not the best, but it works. So I think what I'll do first and foremost is show you what the onboard mic sounds like on the camera. Okay, so this is the onboard mic. This is the Canon's default microphone built into the camera. And it shouldn't sound too bad, and you should hear me clear. But if you really focus on the dynamics and the quality of the higher tones and the lower tones, it might not feel as full. It might feel a little empty. Now I'm gonna plug the Rode mic back in, do a test through there, and then swap over to the Sony mic. Okay, so here is the Rode mic. This should sound pretty good. This should sound pretty full. It should sound better than that onboard mic. And you know, one thing to note, the onboard mic does not do very well when you have autofocus on your camera, if your camera supports it, because the onboard mic is actually right below the lens. And so as quiet as the lens is and seems, between the autofocus and the image stabilization mechanisms inside of the lens itself, they're constantly moving. Unless you're on a tripod, then it's just your autofocus. But regardless, you have something moving in there and you can actually hear it pick up. And it's quite annoying, especially when you're trying to get clean audio. That's why I never use my onboard mic if I can help it. Let's switch over finally to the Sony. Okay, so here is the Sony. Now, I'm just gonna talk for a little bit. What you might notice is you might hear the ruffling sound of this. That is because it's lavalier and there's no shock absorbing. Normally you'd clip it on yourself, and I'll do that in a minute. But just to show you what the left and right stereo effect sounds like. So if you have a pair of headphones, or stereo speakers, you will notice the effect. If you don't, you won't. Here's the left. This is the left speaker, and this is the right. So if I go around, I should feel like I'm going over your head. And so that's where the omnidirectional effect comes from. You can talk from any direction, and while you do get the stereo effect, it's still picking up at one level, one gain through all directions. So you shouldn't be getting a volume difference when you turn this around. And again, yeah, you might hear me move around, but the volume, the amplitude should not change. So I'll rotate this where I have one channel focused on. In this case, it's my right channel. I'll clip it on right here. That way I'm talking mainly through the right channel. That should be what's picking me up the most. And then I'll go into Premiere and fill my left channel with my right channel. There's a effect that will let you do that. And it's very handy for this case specifically. Doesn't take any power, you don't have to put batteries in it, it's just a plug and play thing. And that is what makes this a very powerful, handy little device for its price. And you might notice that we haven't talked about quality at all. Hopefully it sounds good to you. It sounds pretty good to me from what I've tested it through. And you know, it's not going to blow you away. It's not a high-end mic. You know, it's not a Sennheiser. It's not one of Sony's more premium lines or a Shure or anything like that. It's just a cheap mic that very much surprised me. Now, who might buy this mic, and what is it really for? Well, it's definitely and obviously targeted towards the budget community, or for people who might just be starting up, who just need a good, reliable mic for a very cheap price. Great option here. And what you might use it for is things just like this, where you'll just talk and not have to worry about being too far away from the mic. You can just freely move around and it'll stay on you. That's clearly why this rotates, you know, so you can have that effect, which is pretty cool. It almost makes it like a 2-in-1. You can use it for things like this, or you can also use it for like an interview and take advantage of the stereo effect for the left and right channels. It would also be great for concerts, or if you're trying to get the stereo effect for anything. If you want to immerse your audience into your audio and you want them to feel like you're really there, I can see this being very effective for people who might shoot like virtual reality stuff, 360 videos, or anything like that. And so that's why I think this is a great mic. It's very versatile and it can be used in a lot of different ways. One complaint, and what I just don't understand, is why they made this silver. These are supposed to be kind of discreet devices that don't catch the eye. But this is silver and it's reflective. So what I'm probably gonna do is put some black electrical tape on this, or use a Sharpie and color it in or something, because it's too bright and it's kind of annoying. Like, you don't want to see this, you know, it's too obvious. Like, why is this silver? It should be black. It should blend in. The other thing is it is pretty big compared to most condensers. It's probably double the size of what it normally is, and that's obviously because it has 2 microphones, which is fine. You know, that's acceptable because you're buying it for what it is anyways. The third and last thing I might complain a little bit about is there's no windscreen on it, which means if you blow in it, you get that wind sound. It just distorts it. So, you know, a little pop filter or windscreen would actually resolve that. All in all, it's a great mic. I do recommend it. I think this is a very smart buy for someone who needs a good little lavalier. Like I said, it's 18 bucks. You can't beat that. And so many of these actually go through Amazon that you can find used ones for even cheaper, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and unplug it and plug in the Rode mic right here. Let me grab the cord. So it's a little hard to see, but this is the Rode mic. I'm going to unplug and go to Rode. So this is the final test for the Sony. Let's go to the Rode. And there we have it. Sony is unplugged, we're back on the road, and that's the Sony ECMMC3 microphone. It's a great little mic, recommend it. These are so popular on Amazon, you can just type in Sony Lavalier Microphone, and this will be like one of the first ones that pop up. This is the 3rd Tuesday in a row that I've consistently posted, and I like the schedule. I'm going to start posting every Tuesday. So expect another video, whether it's a tech review or tutorial or anything like that, out on next Tuesday. So if this video helped you in any way, hit that like button. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more, hit that subscribe. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I love the support that I've been getting and I want to make more. Thank you all again for watching. I'll see you next Tuesday. You all have a good one. Peace.